audible, correct?
Yes, yes, please.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are, I hope you all are doing well. COVID-19 has impacted all of us. No one was spared. We, the people, and the organizations, these firms, we all got impacted in our unique way. But we also coped, us, coped up with unique ways to handle the situation, to take measures, and to see paradigm shift in the way we used to work, we used to think, and then the organizations coming up with new way of handling this pandemic. What changes were brought in our life with this pandemic? We got introduced to the concept of work from home. This concept, which was an alien concept before this pandemic, and a handful of organizations being ready to provide work from home facility for their people. They used to say security concerns, policies, they are not allowing us to provide you work from home. But suddenly, with this pandemic, everything got changed. We became comfortable in work from home, and the companies they also got comfortable in work from home. The education system got transformed
Uh,
completely.
Anurag, I'm sorry to disturb you in between. I'm having a queries from the party delegates that your voice is breaking down.
The voice is breaking.
Yes.
So, is it better by any chance now?
Uh, you can speak one line or so people will react again.
I am trying to test if my voice is properly audible. Can somebody confirm if I am audible properly?
Yes, it is like much better.
Much better?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right, super. I'm gonna start again. Okay, we talked about work from home model, and then came the education. The way education was online in this pandemic, it was truly transformational. It was a paradigm shift in the way we used to take education, and now with children, kids getting familiar with Zoom, Gmeet, Skype, this new adoption has not just been to these organizations, to the people, to the corporates, but also to kids and to people, to tutors, to teachers, to everyone. Now to get degree from a college in Texas is not that difficult. They are trying to build their program in an online way so that sitting at your home, you can get the same version of curriculum and get the same level of study, and you can get yourself abreast with the latest education anywhere, anywhere from any university of the world. And then the healthcare. Healthcare got completely transformed. Our parents became comfortable on video consultations with our doctors. We, with pandemic, we saw a lot of online portals coming up with facilities to
Upadhyay.
help us with. Bajendra, are you saying something?
Yeah, somebody has saying that please try without your earphones because it's still some coming.
No problem. I'll just try to remove the headphones and then we'll talk. Let's proceed. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Pankaj, for the suggestion.
Is it better now?
Yes, I think so.
Super. Okay, we understood how at personal level we coped up with this pandemic, with work from home model, with education, and with healthcare. Now we'll try to see how these companies are coping up with this pandemic. So I'll start with this joke which was running on LinkedIn and was circulated here and there because of so many reasons. But this joke, this particular meme is actually talking about the reality. I hope you all will agree that somewhere down the line, it was COVID-19 which led the digital transformation in companies. Like I told that work from home model was an alienated concept, but with COVID-19 and with a plan, a BCP plan, which impacted the entire ecosystem of a company, all these facilities became available to us. When companies plan a BCP, a business continuity plan, a certain area, a certain entity is taken care into consideration so that if a failover happens, at some other point, the failover can be taken care or a duplicacy can be maintained so that the high availability remains there. But with COVID-19, this entire BCP plan was required to change. And then companies understood that now, with the kind of scale, with the kind of transactions happening, with the kind of ongoing calls coming to our custom agents, help desk agents, it is very much required to put digital transformation initiatives in our organizations. These nice to have initiatives of AI, of cloud, these nice to have initiatives were changed to become a full blown business imperative. Investments in AI skyrocketed. These investments were there, but the the trust or the feeling of making these initiatives faster was not there. But this urge became high after this pandemic. The companies started opting the digital first theme. The digital first theme became their first imperative because there was an unprecedented need of scale and speed. And what were those catalysts? These catalysts were these gaps. These gaps for an organization like hotel industry, a company which used to handle around 500 cancellations a day, now are handling 4,000 cancellations. So the kind of workforce required to manage such havoc was not there. Company understood that not only human capital, not only human workforce is required, but also digital workforce, digital robots are required who can contribute and collaborate and be there with the human workforce to handle such massive requests. A company which, a bank, for example, a bank which used to handle loan queries or loan records adjustment saw a spike of around 6 million bank records to update, which with the earlier situation would have taken 100 people working for 2 years. Then such requests would have been handled. So there was a demand to manage such scale. And a company like food delivery company which saw around 50% spike in their orders, and the resilience and the scalability and the speed with which the business has to attend those queries was not there. So all these gaps brought these digital transformation initiatives in the spotlight, and all these gaps were on the surface. And hence, the firms admitted 80% of the technology leaders in a survey admitted that COVID-19 in a certain way taught them a way to think about these digital initiatives. Now we'll move ahead and understand how these digital initiatives are influencing the three important pillars of an organization. So there are multiple nuances, multiple ways to understand the impact of COVID-19 and the new wave of digital transformation. In this webinar, I am talking about intelligent automation, the use of intelligent automation and its influence on the golden triangle of an organization, which talks about number one, the people, the workforce, the human capital, the technology, the IT stack, the infrastructure, the architecture of your company, and third, the process being the norms, these workflows, these step procedures. So we'll try to understand how intelligent automation is shaping all these pillars of an organization. But before we understand the influence, we must understand what exactly is intelligent automation. Intelligent automation is the transformed version of robotics process automation, RPA, which you call, blended with smart and intelligent sense, and making the bot smart with a fusion of NLP, natural language processing, and ML, machine learning initiative. So all these combined together, RPA with AI, with NLP, with the fusion of ML, all these combined together to make the automation intelligent. So now we'll go and understand the impact on each and every pillar. So we'll start first with the people. People, like I told, are the workforce or the human capital who are working in an organization, taking action, taking decisions to drive a certain amount of work. And people doesn't only talk about people who are working in an organization or the employers or the employees, but also about the customers, about the consumers, the end users, and not just end users, but also the vendors and the suppliers of an organization. So all these entities clubbed together got an impact of COVID, and how this intelligent automation is shaping this pillar, we'll try to understand. I hope you all will agree that there is a change in behavior and the adoption level of digital after this pandemic. Correct? Pandemic helped us to come close to the technology. Pandemic allowed us to play with certain touch points with which we were not familiar earlier. Chatbots, for example, and not just chatbots, with these conversational bots and the NLP based mechanisms, we all got in touch with these things. Our grandparents, they learned how to pay online and purchase groceries and food materials. So there was a paradigm shift in the way we used to do payments, and we used to work on those touch points to come close to the technology. In a survey conducted, it was found that 46% of retail executives found that they need to invest more in gauging more touch points to provide an omni-channel presence to their customers. What exactly is omni-channel presence? Omni-channel presence allows you to build more touch points for your customer, more interfaces, more portals, so that they stay connected together with more devices if they want to use, with more channels if they want to use. So the funneling, the sales funneling, that got introduced and that got a new shape. The customers' behavior, their buying behavior, their purchasing pattern, all got started getting traced, because with every touch points they were leaving data footprints, which could be which can be used to make meaningful insights, to plan your next decisions, to predict, to forecast what exactly is the customer planning, what is he thinking now, what if he has come to a portal and has not yet purchased that order or that product, then how can we build another channel to put that thought in his mind that you have to buy this thing. So a 360-degree view of a customer, or I should say chakra, was built around these customers and the consumers. And 83% of the respondents also responded to a survey that they keep convenience at the top of their priority. Because of this millennial generation, this Instagram generation, they want everything with on their fingertips. They want to shop online, they want to eat through online orders, they want to work in a way where they don't have to step out of their work or their office or their home. So they wanted an ecosystem of connected device. And hence, with more connected device, there is a more chance of building data sets, building the ML models so that they can be trained to customize and build a funnel to get more insights about these customers and take better decision making. So change in behavior is something on which is on the trend of 2021, and this intelligent automation technology is going to leverage this change in behavior by building more touch points and using that data set to build more insights. Next is about the transformation mindset. The way we started thinking about digital after pandemic, the same way the organizations also thought about the pandemic, and the thinking was completely changed. Earlier, there was a notion that only technology people of a firm can contribute in the digital initiatives. The business users, people working in operations, people working in finance, people working in non-technology jobs, they were just a user of the technology. This was the notion. But now, after pandemic, the automation platforms, they are coming up with ideas and initiatives and tools to build and bring the business users close to the technology. Now it's the era of collaborative automation. There was a I'll put more thought how business users are put to work in the digital space. But before that, I want to talk about a more uh, big notion about the automation and the associated initiatives is that automation cuts jobs. It's a myth. It's not true. Automation allows people to put their time and energy and efforts into something constructive, something in which their brain, their intelligence is being used. Also, with them leaving those mundane jobs, they can put their energy into strategy kind of roles. If you talk to technology leaders, you will find that the technology, the business people, when dealing with technology initiatives, they are not that confident and they want to avoid these initiatives. But if you try to bring those people together, you will see that the business level adoption will go high and the success rate of these initiatives will also flourish more. Because somewhere down the line, it revolves around the business user or the SME who is actually working on that process, which the automation team is trying to automate. So if you have consensus and if you have taken that person in confidence, you will see that the mindset of that person is more positive about these initiatives, and the contribution will go, twice or thrice the efforts which the person was putting earlier. So the ideas are now being asked from these business people, that you tell us where you think that we can transform. You tell us where you think that this particular process is automatable. We'll build a business. We'll build a business case where bots will be working along with you. There will be an era of cobots. Half of the work you are doing, half of the work the bot is doing, or wherever human judgment is required, wherever this intelligent automation is finding difficulty to take decision or take validation, you take decision. So 80% of the work can be done by the bot and 20% you can do it. Somewhere down the line, this mindset is changing now because companies are coming up with lot of initiatives, and these initiatives are called citizen-led transformation initiatives. Companies are putting people to putting business people to think about these initiatives. And like I told, that these automation platforms are coming up with no code, low code development tools, which means people with no knowledge of coding, no technical knowledge can also get into this initiative. They can also work together with the technology folks to build an ecosystem of automation in their process, in their project. Digital academies are coming up. And what are these digital academies? These digital academies allows these business users to enroll and learn these upcoming cutting edge technologies. People are getting trained on tools like UiPath, Automation Anywhere. There are academies, Automation Anywhere Academy, Celonis Academy. So people are using and leveraging those trainings, those certifications, and they are building their confidence to support in the company's initiatives. And these no code, low code tools are merely drag and drop kind of development. You don't have to have smart coding technical knowledge. And with tools like, with platforms like Studio X of UiPath, Studio X allows you to think about the low automation areas which a business user can do it on its own. Example, that if a company asks you to put attendance every week, or if you have to do something which is periodic in nature, and if you don't do it, you will get some penalty or anything, you can utilize these bots to get your work done. And such kind of setup is not that difficult, because there are frameworks available, templates available to build that code, and it's just about drag and drop. So more and more people are coming up, and that transformation mindset is rising. There are process mining tools which have come up, and these process mining and task mining tools are actually collaboration tools, where business user, the the automation technology people, they work together and they try to see which process we can pick to automate, which one is a juicy process, which one has more automation potential. So with automation hubs and so many other crowdsourcing ways, there is now a wave of bringing these business users, the non-technology people, close to the technology. And that is something which is transformational. That is definitely a new wave of digital transformation. Cool. Now we will proceed to the second pillar, which is technology. I hope you all are with me. Technology talks about the tech stack, the infrastructure, the architecture, the setup, which defines the scalability, the flexibility, the robustness of your IT system. On technology, your entire sales, your finance, all these functions run. So it's very, very important that if you're strong from the core and you adopt digital transformation in your technology stream, your other functions will automatically work well. So we'll understand the new trends which have come up after this pandemic. And these new trends were not, this is not that these trends were not available earlier, they were, but the amount of energy and the amount of I would say positivity has come up for these initiatives is definitely mind blowing. First trend is about the natural language processing and the chat bots. I'm sure majority of you have dealt or experienced or encountered with chatbots, with almost almost all companies, I would say, are thinking about these initiatives, and the compounded annual growth rate of NLP market is exceptionally high. It is projected to be around 18.6% during the post-COVID period around 2020 to 2026, which is way high. And the global NLP market size is projected to reach around 28 billion US dollars by 2026, which was earlier, just around 9 billion in 2019. So investments in chatbots and NLP are skyrocketing, and you know, with chatbots, the organizations will be able to cut a lot of L1 kind of tasks. And what are these L1 kind of tasks? These tasks where the agents, where the users do not put their intelligence in use. They don't conduct any analysis. They just copy paste, they just do a reconciliation, they match few data, they just drag and drop. So somewhere where they are just putting energy in mundane work. So all such cases where the end users can pass on some of their work, some of their mundane work to the chatbots or the RPA bots, where their entire workforce is now digital plus human. So it will bring a lot of value to the organizations. And natural language processing is very much important because now with advancement in the RP and the chatbots are becoming smarter. They understand sympathy, they understand empathy, they understand with which sense the user is now talking. They understand if the user is furious, they understand if the user is happy. And this is important because with the advent of smartphones, cheaper smartphones, cheaper internet, cheaper Wi-Fi, cheaper you know this entire ecosystem. So people are now available on all social media platforms. If they are not happy with one of your products, they will directly go to Twitter, they will directly go to any social media platform, and they can talk bad things about you. They might be mailing you, they might be asking you for your help, but if you don't respond with the sympathy, with the kind of empathy they want, they will get frustrated and they will go to these channels. That is how natural language processing is very much important. There are companies who are putting investment in training these bots by people who understand how a chatbot can be trained with emotion, with sentiment. Hence, sentiment analysis is on rise. So NLP and chatbots, they are going to have a very bright future, and you know 53% of the technology leaders, they're accepting that they have come up with more than 10% of their budget increase as compared to last year, and around 31%, correct, are thinking to have more than 30% of their budget increased as compared to the previous year. So this is an amazing trend which has turned up, has become more stronger, and is growing at a very faster level. There are NLP libraries available, with plug and play model, with these APIs available. So this adoption is also becoming easy. 53% of the respondents, they used to feel that with the top two libraries, Spacey and the Spark, they are very much convenient to use, and the plug and play model is helping them to adopt to this particular technology really easy. We'll now see another trend, which is OCR and the intelligent document management. OCR is optical character recognition, and intelligent document management talks about dealing with the digital documents in an efficient manner. But why is this technology on rise? Because paperless was always the theme. All the organizations wanted to go paperless. This was there, but with these touchless, contactless themes coming up: paperless, contactless, and touchless. These three themes coming up. The number of digital documents are on rise, on a drastic rise, and then the management of these documents are becoming difficult. These documents are not of one kind. These documents could be structured, could be semi-structured, could be unstructured. Structured means the one which are having a uniform pattern, which are of same category, same kind. And then the semi-structured are the ones which are somewhere they are in the uniformity, but in some of the parts there could be handwritten notes. There could be a low quality scanned image pasted. And the unstructured one, the most notorious ones, they can have anything. They can have handwritten notes, a doctor writing anything in their own style, or a person, clicking a picture from a VGA camera and pasting it on a document. So such kind of documents are unstructured and they are most difficult to manage. But now with these RPA platforms, these automation platforms coming up with smarter OCRs and document understanding tools, this entire piece is becoming difficult to manage. And how are they doing it? They are doing it by understanding that data, understanding those texts, and classifying together. They're classifying the same kind of data together so that the routing those documents to a particular person becomes easy. Otherwise, the routing was taking so much time that you cannot classify which particular document is of which category. The text classification is turning up. There are tools available which can summarize an entire set of data. A contract of 100 pages can now be summarized by putting right set of data fields, attributes, and parameters on which the summary has to be done. So such tools are available. And this adoption of OCR and intelligent document management is embraced by a lot of industries. Insurance industry, for example, for claim settlement process, these doctors, who write in their own language, we say that the only doctor can understand. But now these tools can understand what doctor has written. They are doing the modeling on that data with more and more data sets. These tools can understand what medicine or what action or what report the doctor has written in that prescription, and then the claim settlement is now being tackled with that. You can understand that okay, the doctor has written that you have to conduct RT-PCR or you have to conduct a CT scan. So all those keywords will add up to that claim settlement, and accordingly those pricing and those things can be done, so that human intervention in that process is now getting minimized. So this way, this entire piece of intelligent document management is on rise after this pandemic. Now we'll come to the third section. Image detection and computer vision. What you see in this picture is not it's not exactly a picture of cat and dog. These are objects. These are objects for a computer vision camera, I would say. And this image recognition tools, what are they doing? They are allowing to understand meaningful data from the images. What these images are doing, these images are helping us to churn that data and utilize into numerous applications. And how is this happening? This is happening again with the reduced smartphone costs, cheaper internet plans, cheaper Wi-Fi, with phone in every hand, with WhatsApp in every mobile. People are now clicking more images. And with these images, the data modeling or the image modeling is becoming easy because there is a plethora of images available on which the image modeling can be done. With these insights from these pictures, there can be certain numerous use cases, I would say. And a lot of use cases from the image detection uh, technology are being used in this current uh, era of pandemic. For example, if an image can tell you clearly about a person in that picture, that same particular tool can be used for the COVID-19 measures to understand if social distancing is being followed or not. Let's take an example. If there is a shop and there is a limit of having not more than 5 people in that shop, then with image detection, a store owner or the person who is in governance, they can actually check how many people are available in that store. And if the number goes high, then the authority can take an action, right? So these are the use cases which are coming up with image detection and computer vision model. And this is going to go high. This market is on rise. The compounded annual growth rate of this particular image detection and computer vision market is at around 19.5%, which is way high. And it was around 15.9 billion in 2016. And now this market is going to rise to around 40 or 39 billion US dollars in 2021. So this is humongous. This is huge. And the adoption will be on rise. These driverless cars, these Tesla, which are coming up with driverless concept, what are they using? They are using image detection. They are these cars are now able to understand where is a tree, where is an object, where is a lamppost, where is a car. So the technology is now driving these cars, and this image detection is helping them with new IoT level devices, the video cameras coming up and making these maneuvering of these drive cars easy. The security companies or the security industry is using image detection. The intruders, they are now not just with thermal detectors but also with image detection. These security companies are leveraging these particular tools. So all in all, with the rise of data, with the rise of images, with the rise of more and more people clicking pictures, this data set creation is now easy, is now convenient, and the creation of neural networks is now very convenient. And then definitely the training of these models is very easy. So this industry or this particular market is going to rise in 2021. And this is an amazing case with the new wave of digital transformation. ML modeling and business intelligence. This is where the customization of machine learning comes in picture. With machine learning, these firms are not just using the ready-made models which are available. Now the firms are utilizing their own data sets, because the companies are sitting on a pile of data. They are generating data. The insurance industry is no more an insurance industry. They are a data industry, right? So they are sitting on a pile of data and they want to use that data in their own way. They want to have their decision making, their forecasting, their predictiveness aligned in such a manner with that data. They want to churn it, they want to build insight, and then they want to take a conscious decision. And with business intelligence, visualization tools coming up, that the management of such data is becoming easy. Everything is on now dashboards. Everything is now available in an at a glance view. So the customization of data models, the plug and play of the data models with components of UI Path AI Center, for example, coming up with out of the box ML packages and allowing you to provide a facility to build your own ML model as per your company, as per your ecosystem, and then train it accordingly, and then derive insights. So this is an amazing trend, which is going to take this modeling, this ML modeling concept to the next level. And then the plug and play model of integration. This is very, very important because now we understood that these companies are actually taking a thought, taking a leap to digitally transform, but ultimately it's not that easy because uh, there are multiple roadblocks, there are multiple challenges. And these challenges, 90% of these challenges are the data silos. And 60%, somewhere 60%, not 60%, somewhere, where the legacy infrastructure, which is there, on which company has invested a huge amount, that comes as a roadblock. Company used to think that now we have invested so much there. Now with this new wave, we have to completely transform. So that particular challenge is somewhere slowing down their adoption rate. And around 3.5 million on an average each year for the IT labor jobs, such investments are happening where it is just about integration, how we can club these two technologies together to build something uh, wonderful. So your ERP systems, which are lying in a separate uh, uh, area, your ERP system, your SAP system, your CRM system, your business intelligence system, if they are not integrated together, if they are not working together in a real time to derive value for you, then there is a problem and it will delay the way adoption will take place in your firm. So because it's not just about increasing the budget of these digital initiatives, it's also about understanding how these integrations can happen quickly. With the SFTP and MFTP model of data exchange, there comes not numerous problems, right? And there are chances that your integrations might not get successful with the other available high end cutting edge products of the market. So this is where the API led integrations are happening. And with pandemic, companies are understanding that they have to work on that API led methodology. But 36% of the organizations now have a mature approach to API led integrations. The plug and play model of integrations. Because if these APIs are available and you can have your own data set, your own data models, which you can plug and play, there will be a synergy, a symbiosis of all these IT components together, all these business components together to bring data insights, to bring something valuable on which a decision making can be done, on which another budget can be approved from the finance, right? So that integration is very, very much important. Now these automation platforms, they are coming up with such powerful integration methodologies that with any of your ERP system, with your SAP system or any ERP system, your CRM system, Salesforce, anything, they can be combined together. That integration is possible. That plug and play model is now coming up with a bright future for the integrations of your old legacy system and trying to pull them also in that race, the digital race on which your company is running. So this is where the industry is also growing, and the adoptions are becoming faster because of these plug and play model of integrations. Now the third component, the third pillar is the process. Process, like I told, is nothing about the series of steps, these flows, the flow diagrams, the operating procedures with which a particular function works, with which a particular work is done. So with digital initiatives coming in, with streamlining happening in this process, with re-engineering happening in this process, there is now a focus on not the process standardization, but on the reimagining the process. How exactly you can think about that process to use it in a different way. Can we go from A to D by just skipping B? Or AD, BC, can we make it ABCD in a way that, my efforts, my energy, my time, my full-time employees, they can have more better work to do. So that reimagination of the process is very important. And that is how this AI wave is growing in all the industries. So there are cases where the industries are thinking beyond the usual. For example, in the insurance industry, let's take an example, these telematics devices are coming where the and what are these telematic devices? These devices basically tell you how the driver is, or how good or the bad the driver is, or his driving skills are. These telematics devices are attached to the cars or the trucks or the vehicles, and then they tell about the driving behavior of that person. They can tell you whether the driver is putting is a is a driving in a bad way, or is not driving in night. So all these things clubbed together will bring insight about the driver, and then this insurance company can actually amend or change or vary the premium of that driver. If you are a bad driver, then there are more probability of you putting your car in accident or dying in an accident, and so accordingly that premium will differ. So the variation in prices or variation in premium are coming up with utilization of data from these telematics devices. Or the healthcare companies, what they are doing, they are utilizing uh, the information from those devices, from those fitness bands, that how fit is that person, how much workout does that person do, does that person actually you know do something on burning their calories. If the person is conscious about his health, then the premium will go low. So such level of variation, such level of adoptions are coming across the all the industries. So, and if you talk about any industry, and not just any industry, you can think about these adoptions with your smartphone. The moment you open your eyes, and you touch your earphone, touch your smartphone, with that touch enabled sensors, you get experience of AI, right? With Google Assistant helping you with auto corrections while you typing those texts. All these are AIs. So this adoption is going high in this industry, and companies are now working on redefining the process, reimagining the process, how they can infuse AI to make the process shorter and easy to use, and have delays and approvals like things cutting down. So on thinking about such use cases, there are companies who are working on some unusual use cases of AI. For example, there is a company called uh, Flippy. There's a company called Flippy where the bots actually work on building those burgers, right? So these companies like C3 is a firm which actually works in the agri-tech business to actually uh, detect the ripening of the fruit. So with image detection and other technology, the agri-tech business is also getting a lot of help. So with image detection, like I gave you about that use case of COVID, all these things coming up together are helping business to understand how can they optimize that process, what should they remove from that process so that the process becomes more efficient, more user centric, has more customer centricity. So all those things together are helping to give a paradigm shift in the way of thinking about these processes. Now we have come up with the end of our presentation and I want all of you to think about finding the use case around you. First of all, we'll need to understand that technology and the usage of technology is not an alien thing now for a business user. For a technology person, it might be that easy, but then with tools which are supporting business users to think about technology, build build a mindset which takes you close to the technology. There can be a number of cases where you feel the technology can help you, and if you uh, want to start your journey in the automation or the intelligent automation piece, there are platforms available with readily available cases, case studies, use cases, user stories, or awareness programs where you can enroll and you can think how you can contribute. With tools like process mining, there are jobs coming up for people who can become admin of those process. So people from the business or people from those operations, they are changing their jobs and becoming admins of those process mining tools. And they are transforming their careers into this cutting edge technologies. So it is very important to think about technology, to adopt technology, not just by being a consumer, being a consumer of smartphones and all such areas of AI, but also becoming a contributor. So the mindset has to change from consumer to contributor. And there are steps available, there are technology available, tools available to think about them, to implement them, to leverage them. So I request all of you to build that digital mindset, think about use cases around your industry, and see where AI or where all these automation initiatives can help you or your company grow and sustain and withstand this pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Anurag. It was an insightful session. Now we have our first question. The same question I was about to ask. Nice question, Pankaj. So if you can open your chat box, there is a question from Pankaj.
Okay.
Yes, so you can answer that question.
Pankaj, what is your advice to new graduates and senior students? Okay, great question, Pankaj. So, okay, you are a student somewhere, I believe. No problem. So I'll answer this question not just with a perspective of person who is actually graduating or anybody as a business user, financial user, anybody. So basic skills they must know is the awareness of this entire industry, I would say, because these cutting edge technologies they are changing at a very uh, fast manner. You have to be very adaptive and agile. So that's one thing. That basic skill you asked is to be more vigilant, more aware, being adaptive, being agile, and being, right at the helm of that technology to understand how is it changing, how it can help, what are some of the use cases of these technologies. So the first and foremost thing is to build awareness about this. So this is my advice to all the new graduates and senior students in the universities to first understand how you can relate to these technologies. Because if you start by understanding, the technicality of it, there could be some difficulty engaging the concepts. But if you want to see how it has been built up, where this adoption or this applicability is there, you will be able to make a connection, you'll be able to connect dots, and then you try to improvise, you try to learn new things about the technology, and you will be able to see tools which are going to help you. Like I told you, for process mining, there are multiple tools. There are Celonis Academy, there are UiPath Academy, Microsoft Power Automates. So there are multiple tools available with which you can actually leverage and enroll yourself and learn about these tools. So basic skill is definitely the same.
Uh, nice. Thank you, Anurag. So, in between, just want to break for 1 minute. So we have our current competition going on. I have shared the link where it's a Twitter predict challenge going on. Any student or any corporate guy can go over there and solve it, and the cumulative total amount is $3,000. It's valid till 6th of July. And above that, I have shared one link that is bitgrid.net/cap. It's our current campus ambassador program going on till 11th of July. Every student can apply in this, where we hire students on 6 month or 1 year contractual basis. So it will be an incentivized program like an internship. If you conduct one workshop, if you conduct some seminar or educate your group of students in your colleges, so we will pay you as an incentive of $100, $150, $200 like this. So if anybody interested, they can apply. So Anurag, just a quick question from my end for the youngsters, like college students from graduating. It might be a personal one as well. So what you advise them students, like how they can prepare themselves for PwC India? Like
Okay.
now, if we talk about digital transformation, so I'll say every companies are looking for a digital transformation nowadays. In every guy, whatever the field you are going, they're looking out. Okay, you don't know this thing. Okay, we'll provide you some online courses. Companies are providing free courses in collaboration with Coursera and Udemy as well. So what if I'll talk about students, those who want to go off campus to PwC as a fresher, or you can say minimum 1 year or 2 year experience. So how they can reach to PwC India?
Sure. Good question. Good question. So PwC is primarily a consulting firm. We do a lot of work in the IT advisory. I'm from the IT advisory team, and we are in almost every space, every corner of IT. So to make a career in consulting, and especially if you want to join PwC, I would ask the students to have a strong hold on technology. And not just technology, but also a grip to express how technology can be used. So if you want to join PwC, or if you want to enroll to any company where you feel that you want to contribute in this digital arena, in this digital world, then get equipped with knowledge about any of the technology skills. It could be Python, it could be data science, it could be RPA, it could be Celonis, it could be anything. It could be anything. You have to become a subject matter expert. And what does subject matter expert means? That you must know about all the nuances, all the flavors of the technology. So there could be, categories. There could be bifurcations of the roles. That some can opt for functional role, some can opt for a core technical role, some can opt for a role to bring business, to build business. There are multiple roles, but ultimately the epicenter, the sweet spot will always be the grip on technology. Correct? So get well versed with any of the technology platform, okay, and get certifications in there. Try to do something where you have your real experience working with these technologies. For example, if you're working on a use case of building a bot, try to see how you can apply the same in other industry. Okay, for example, if you have worked in uh, you know banking or any finance company, and there was a use case which can be applicable to a different industry, you must understand what are the exceptions, or what are some of the things which might get deferred when you are applying that use case. So you must have a clear cut understanding about the all aspects of that technology transformation, or that process optimization, of that process re-engineering, whatever it could be, whatever change, whatever automation you are bringing in, you must be well versed about its applicability in other industries. So somewhere down the line, everything comes to the point of acquiring knowledge, building knowledge, and utilizing it, and ultimately being able to communicate well and express it well to the interviewer or the person who is trying to understand your use case. So get your knowledge, understand how can you express it well, and then I don't think there should be any difficulty for anyone to get into these tech firms or these consulting firms when you apply your job.
Nice, great. Thank you, Anurag. There is one more question from Bishop Kumar in the chat
Can you be
box.
a bit louder, please?
I'm saying there's one more question in the chat
Okay.
box.
Okay. Okay. So the question from Rishabh talks around: will it be a good idea to totally dependent on automation and machine learning? See, total dependence on these automations and machine learning is actually desired, because these bots or these automation tools, they don't sleep, they don't take rest, they don't take leaves. For example, if there is a workforce of 100 people and suddenly there is a rise of uh, calls from the customers, which is around 5 times which they used to experience on a daily basis. And then you also see that because of pandemic, because of corona, people are taking leaves, they are not joining office, and the workforce got reduced to 50. But the call spikes, the incoming messages, they are 5 times. So how will you maintain that balance? So ultimately the objective should be to completely replace all such processes where human dependency is not required. Now, if there is a bot in picture, if there are 50 bots instead of 50 people, bot will not take leave. Bot won't say that, sir, I'm tired and I want to take some rest, I am not feeling well. The bot will not mail like that. So that is why for all such processes where analysis is not required, where you feel that there is no validation, there is no use of human brain, human judgment, human intelligence, human experience, automation is the answer. So it is a good idea to be dependent on, for such cases where the human workforce can make error, human can go sick, or human can ask for leave. So it's better that you adopt automation and ML models there.
Thank you, Anurag. There is one more question from Kunal. I think you answered that thing in the previous one. If you can read the question in chat
Sure.
box.
Well, that's a fair question. I talked about collaborative automation and I talked about a concept of cobots. Cobots means working together, bot and human. So usually how industry see the combination of bots and human, always in a fighting mode, right? But it's not that. It's actually the association. It's actually the collaboration with bots working with humans. Now your question is whether the chatbots can take up all that work of that human. The mantra of automation remains the same. You have to understand in a way that bots, these RPA, these chatbots, they have certain limitations. And what are those limitations? That if any process requires human intelligence, okay, for example, if your ML model is not that trained, right, and a bot can make mistake of providing an approval on a financial, on a transactional process where a certain amount of money will be credited to your end user or a certain amount of money will be refunded. There are financial implications and your model is not that trained, you find that there are multiple exceptions in that process, then a collaboration can be done. The ultimate piece or the ultimate part of that process where the bot has to click on the approval or the denial button, okay, that particular process, that could be 10% of that 100% process, okay. Now that collaboration can happen, that person can come in picture and click on that approval, and then the process can become complete. So this is called attended automation. So attended automation and unattended automation, they both are running. Unattended is a desired one where we understand the process really well, understand the exceptions really well, understand where bot can be trained to act like a human. Bot won't just mimic, bot will act with human brain. So if your process has matured to that level and your ML models are trained in such a way that now bot is not making any mistake, you have done all those comprehensive testing, then you can think about, you know, putting bot completely in charge of that process. But if that case is not there, it is always advisable, it is always better to put human at certain point, at last point where any particular decision where bot might not think in that way, then apply that cobot thing. I hope I answered your question, Kunal.
There is one more.
Yeah. Now, Gautam, your question is general, but ideally it should be specific. Now, to determine which algo will work for my data set, will work for my company, my environment, my ecosystem, it will vary. Okay, there are ready-made, there are templates available. There are ready-made models available which you can use. But ultimately, if you want to make customizations based on your data, based on the data footprints which you have captured from your touch points, from your CRM tools, the model will become different. So that determination, that classification, that selection will depend on the data set or the data footprint which you have captured. So there is no specific answer to this question as of now. So it is specific to your industry, to your use case, to your process.
Anybody have any more questions? So please ask. We'll take one more question if anybody have. I think we are done. So that was a great session, Anurag.
All right.
Thank you very much, and thank you all the delegates to be there. So thank you,
Thank
Anurag.
you, Baljinder. Thank you, Baljinder, for having me here. It was truly very wonderful, session for me also, because I got to interact with such brilliant minds and was able to understand their thought process. And I hope I was able to contribute to the AI community.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.